Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're watching from around the world. If you're stuck in that cold snap, my heart goes out to you because we're here in sunny California at the OGN Super Arena for the opening of Season 1. What a barn burner to start. You get skins for wins.
Skins for wins.
WTF just gave out 500 of them.
Yeah, they're a great team. We both love them. I know we both probably would have picked them ourselves if we were predicting. I predict them constantly. And so the fact that they were to open up with the first win of the first phase of the first season is not really a surprise to either of us.
I mean, I'll give myself some prize. Like, I tweet out the start of every day who I think you should pick to win, and they take the first game, take a burden off of my chest with a nice little takeaway. But great game from them, and they executed it from the start. We'll follow, I think, their track a little bit later, but something that I think is relevant that you brought up is they took Cube early on. For those of you who don't know what Cube is, it is that little block of buildings just outside of Georgia Pole, across the bridge, sort of by the ruins. Why? Yeah. That was a huge take.
Yeah, it was the second bridge over from containers just north of ruins, and it's big because you heard Hypoc talk about it in the interview himself. It has control over that transition, over that river. When that river is in the circle for as long as it was, that is a key rotation point.
Yeah, rivers are nightmarish, but before we go into breaking down what happened, let's take a look back at the highlights. Cameron, walk me through a little bit of what we saw in Game 1.
So Game 1, we've seen this place happen not every single time, but many times, many games. It opened up, though, with a couple of kills here between Tempo Storm and Wildcard. Extreme got a kill, traded immediately back, and that's 2 down already for Wildcard, but Noble, rough push.
We'll talk more about this later because it was a crazy push, but lots of fun. And this is where Tempo Storm gets themselves out. They knock out Cloud9. They did a lot of work on the north side of that circle, getting themselves all the way to second place and a ton of points.
Shoot to kill as well. They've got themselves in this circle very early on. And it was a bit rough because leaving that compound they're in can be hard, but they did it and they pushed out a nice solid 4th for them.
Wildcard and Tempo, a bit of a back and forth the entire match. Ultimately, Tempo coming out ahead. Sharky and Zampa, let's talk for a second about their sprays. My goodness, these guys were unstoppable when it came to long-range shootouts.
That spray control made it look like they were tap firing just really fast, but at the very end, YTEM Fate still 4 up, and just Zampa tried it. Zampa tried to be the lynch flank for Tempo Storm, but YTEM Fate? Why would you attempt a flank on YTEM Fate? Because they're going to outshoot you every single time, just like they did here.
Well, WTF controlled the circle. That's what we'll see when we go back over the path. We'll show how they traveled there. But the big thing to take away and remember is they had the circle. They spread out very soon. They fought off, I think it was Endemic, who was just sort of north of them. And they spread out. They left Hetror to watch the players who were coming out of that east side. Yeah. And then they very carefully swept up everything on the west, made sure that they were in control. And that's how you win these games. Control as soon as you can establish it, and watching each other's backs, but not being scared to get a little bit of real estate.
And honestly, I'm going to reiterate it, leaving Hetror behind to watch while everyone else fought against Endemic is likely going to be an overlooked point, but it was so key. Yeah. Because it made sure that they were confident in how far they could push without getting overtaken.
Confidence is key, right? Knowing someone's watching your back. Now, speaking about plays, watching each other's back, I want to go to STK. We picked this one because it's all about controlling what you can control. Yeah. And STK did that as they held their compound. So let's run the analyst replay, and we're going to talk a little bit about how you can use that to your advantage.
So this is a bit of a chop-up section of a long-form fight, but we see STK here surrounded by potentially multiple teams, Noble and Envy. Envy have good shots onto this compound, can keep them kind of pinned down. But the question is, what do STK do to eventually allow themselves to move out of it?
So when the shot goes off, STK realizes Noble's there too. They have to make them move. So Purdy takes the risk, goes out, throws a grenade, and forces Envy to rethink their position. They leave because they're worried about a push. This means STK only has to worry about fighting one front.
Exactly. If Noble were pushed in with Envy still on the north of them, STK would be in a lot worse of a spot. But because they could focus themselves on one angle and one team only, it was an easy wipe for them to take out Noble.
Can you imagine the amount of kills Envy would have racked up in this moment if they had not pushed them away? So that's your takeaway, boys and girls, as you play at home. use those advantages, risk a little bit to gain a lot. And that's exactly what Purdy did when he pushed out there, and his team watched his back doing so.
You also don't need kills to get presence and to get control, but looking here, we do have the rankings from the very first game.
Game 1, Y10 Fate finishes in first, Tempo in second. No big surprises there. Endemic in third, but as we get a little bit lower, you're going to start to see Lazarus, who actually finished in 8th place, goes to 6th because kills are a point. First place is 10, but once you get to second and below, it's 6, 5, 4, 3. So kills are a very big deal in this tournament.
Yeah, kills are very important. You can see just the trickle down on the right side. Wildcard, Vicious, Ghost, getting that 1 kill for them. Sure, they went out past 10, but that's going to allow them to stay more competitive throughout the day and throughout the season. Getting the points where you can, even if it's not the best single game in terms of placement.
United going to find themselves with the only circle on the leaderboards. It's going to be a little bit of a rough, but you know what? Those are the kind of guys that I think they're going to look at this, keep a smile on their face, and use that to come back. Now, we talk about featured teams in every game. We're going to focus on these 4 going into round 2. Endemic, Team Envy, Smokin' Aces, and Vicious Gaming. Cameron, a little bit of a lot of these guys, I think the bottom 2 especially, are stories of looking for redemption as they go through this one. They've had a little bit of a rough start.
Absolutely. For, I guess, Team Envy, they were one of the teams that a lot of people were looking at with this new point system to really take over. Unfortunate overextension against Lazarus, but it was only 1 game. We know these guys can bounce back. But
now,
here's the head-to-head.
Back in the roster. Welcome back, boys and girls. Wolf is on the opposite side now, interestingly enough. But he's back, so give him a day or 2. They're going to need to get their feet under them. Comparing the stats, though, this is coming from preseason. 6.3 for Team Envy, 3.9 on Endemic, but expect that to go up, Cameron, because Wolf was part of that 6.3.
Absolutely. But then Caden, just the firepower that he's going to deliver. I'm looking at the stats for Envy. 3rd and 5th in kills and damage, but 14th in placement. That just goes to show you how much of a fragging team they are and how much they rely on it.
And for those of you just joining us, when we say that Wolf was playing with Envy as a stand-in during the preseason, now he's signed with Endemic when Caden returned. So that's why we kind of make these jokes about Wolf leaving and sort of will that change their scoring system. 2 more teams up on the board, Smokin' Aces and Vicious Gaming, both looking to make a big name for themselves here, Cameron.
And they have to kind of polar opposite of Envy here. Both these squads have sub 10 on every single stat here. So it's going to be an upward climb. They're newer teams compared especially to Envy. But the question is, can they continue to climb up? Can they learn? This is going to have to be a phase of growth for them.
I have a worry that there will be some teams that play not to get relegated versus to win the whole thing. These are 2 teams that I have to stress, don't fall into that trap.
Don't do it.
Out here to win, to take the whole thing. I think they will, and they're not going to be happy with those numbers they put up in preseason. So let's see if they can change it up, because unfortunately, wasn't much better in that game. All right, player comparison, Venerated and Mini Fridge, Cameron. Does anything stand out to you here?
First in kills. Venerated's first in kills. Like, what else is to stand out from that?
Well, and here's the thing. So Venerated, traditionally, in my opinion, is best when he plays with Caden. So having Caden back on the team, I think is going to make Venerated even
higher than
stronger.
First?
Well, no, but I mean, I think he's even scarier at this point. So he's a very scary player. Mini Fridge, not to be counted out. I think he's more of a strategic captain for his team and a leader. So you're not going to see as many frags for them. His time survived is 27-37. So less kills, but maybe more value.
Yeah, and we'll see that come into play with the added value of Wolf being thrown onto Endemic with the added firepower.
Now, we want to take a look at the teams that we will be following and see how they're getting ready. So, Cameron, tell me a little bit about our first team, Endemic.
Endemic, we fell in love with them when they were known as Adapt. They just got picked up by a new organization. They have a new player on the roster. Wolf added in from Envy. We've already talked about this point, but nonetheless, this team, they've shown that they're good at the footsie game on positioning. Can they use that, the new added firepower of Wolf, to up their power even more in the game in these top 16 teams?
Can't wait to see it. Next team up is going to be Smokin' Aces. It's time to earn your keep. The redemption story is over. You are here. Now step up and prove you deserve it. 15th place, their preseason rank isn't going to cut the mustard anymore. Passion and desire can only carry you so far. It's time for these guys to double down on Aces and really make a stand. I think they can do it. I believe in them. It's just, do they believe in themselves enough to go out there and search for the kills? In the last game, Cameron, I think they did. 5 kills.
Yeah.
even though they went out early, they racked up a lot of points.
Those kills are all that mattered, but Envy, another team that's going to be looking for kills. Welcome back, Caden. A good performance in preseason, but with their full roster back in the Super Arena, can they have that climb even higher? Already third in average kills per round. An unfortunate first game, a little bit of overextension, but they're certainly a team that can definitely perform well with these new point system over many others in the lobby.
Absolutely, they do have the ability to run in front. They got some of the best killers in the league. Last team we're going to keep an eye on this round is Vicious Gaming. Turtle by choice is my question for them. These guys are good fraggers with mediocre rotations. Their preseason felt a little timid. But with the new settings, it's time for them to come out of their shells, leave the turtles to the sewers, Cameron, and live up to their namesake. They need to be vicious. They need to look for those kills. They finished 16th in the last match, and that, I think, is going to be a confidence bump to them. They need to forget about it, move on, and get ready to play. With that, the guys who will be walking us through our next game are going to be none other than Matrim, Porosaurus, and the only man who is not banned for having laser vision. It is WTF Moses. Welcome back, my man.
Laser eyes.
I got them laser eyes.
The laser eyes.
Pew-pew.
The laser eyes coming in very handy watching.
I wish
these
I
first
had that
couple
guy's
games.
hair, though.
Yeah. That is
I will get there at one point. Sooner or later, my hair
Yeah,
will
we
be
got
tall.
a lot of impressive hair around here.
I'm
There's
so
everyone's
upset.
stats.
Cam's hair is taller than mine. I have to fix this at some point.
Hi, Dad.
Hey.
We're gonna go for ice cream and orange slices after the game. I think.
Nice.
Nice.
Only
Not
if you're
pizza?
good.
It's huge.
I'm
Well,
sad
here we
about
go.
this.
Here's the boys from Endemic Gaming getting ready to load on in. You can see again Wolf in that bottom right-hand corner going to be improving the fate of this squad. I mean, they're a good squad. They're a good squad. We saw them ending up in a high position here in the last game. I expect to see them there quite a bit. I mean, they were great when they were
placement
napped.
is fifth. They might not be the biggest killing team on the face of the earth, but they are great about getting into the circle and surviving for so long.
There you go, smoking aces.
Absolutely. I mean, there's some faces and some performance here for them that last game wasn't quite to their strength, I think. I'd like to see them be a little bit more active in their rotations, that kind of thing. But these guys, all top-level competitors, you know, Define Legit, he's had a journey, to say the least, on his way here. But joining in with Envy, these are the guys we're looking for. Venerated, we just saw first overall in kills average, and that is a big factor for this team.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the way Envy roll. They want to try to maximize the amount of kills they can get, and in a mode like this where kills are worth so much, they can do so. VZ, where you at, man?
There you go, VZ's
Hide that
forehead.
down there.
Just hanging out there, very, it's like an alligator, ready to just
Below
kinda,
the surface.
just peeking above, waiting to come and get you. But right now, we are heading in to round 2 of day 1, week 1 here. We're going back to Miramar.
I gotta say, the preseason had some ridiculous Miramar games. There was so much more violence inside of them. Like, we saw the fact that Erangel was a little bit like more chill. But whenever it came to Miramar, North America just got explosive with it.
I think it's going to change now with these new circle settings as well, with Miramar being a typically late game heavy action map, and with this plane path being southern dominant. Getting to the northern side is going to be a little bit difficult, but the center, again, is going to be packed. We'll see what happens around that Mikado region.
All right, so we have to let Moses continue to talk until it shows the circle. Otherwise, we found out it's always going to go southwest. If you say
Okay,
anything.
so well,
This is all you know, Moses.
Northeast. That's going to be my first guess, but
Northeast?
that's my guess. We're going military base, hard push.
No pressure. Just continue to solo cast until we see the circle. Otherwise, I don't know in the new circles. I don't have the feeling for it yet. I don't know when it's going to pop up.
Hey,
Elsewise,
you know, like Simplicity's kind of hoping it goes somewhere else too now. As we remember, they did loot around that Valdemar area. They benefited heavily off of those southwestern circles, but now we can see they're making their way up to a new place.
Joining in with Venerated, already finding that mini, again, with the increased loot and these different circle settings, it's going to be easier in the early games for these guys to get looted up and just jab yourself in the heart.
Just drop
Go straight
down.
to Adrenaline Syringe. That's a bold strat.
Right?
He's increasing his loot speed, essentially. But hey, look at that. Dead center, middle of the zone. Picado going to be the focus.
Hey,
you
we'll
did
take
it, Moses. You didn't send us down to the southwest. I'm so happy. So with this, now everybody that's dropping Picado or middle, they're going to be in a pretty fine spot. All things considered, that's kind of an interesting spot to play around because naturally we do see a lot of teams that are still vying for spots in this general
look at
location.
H-Win.
Oh, no, Badger.
please.
I mean, those are some long-range shots.
It
coming
can
through there,
happen.
but, I mean,
Yeah, we've seen
there's
it
also
happen
the mini.
before.
You know,
We ain't got a prayer.
You got to do the helicopter dance. You know, we see that from time when I'm playing with Choco. There's always guys floating above us doing the helicopter and the parachute. So
Yeah.
I get the feeling your helicopter dance is different than what I've heard the helicopter dance is.
Oh,
so.
yeah,
it's,
no.
it's in the parachute. Get your mind on
Your
the gunner.
helicopter. It's gonna get your helicopter dance for me. Hey, no. If you have one person shooting on you, probably the last person in the lobby you want taking shots at you as you parachute down to earth.
Yep.
Is Penta. You know, was number 2 in the damage and kills, I think, from preseason. So it's going to be interesting to see what Simplicity does with this new drop spot, but they've already started off pretty well. They're right dead center circle.
All right, so here we are, Vicious Gaming, making their way just a little bit up towards the north. This is kind of one of the things we were talking about with the way that Miramar is playing, with these faster circles, with the way people have to rotate. Cars and vehicles are going to be such a commodity, and specifically clear paths to get away and rotate into potential new circles.
It's a bit of a late start for Vicious Gaming. They haven't had much success in any of the categories that we were looking at. I mean, it's a situation where they need more kills, they need to stay alive longer, and they need to stay. They need better placement as well. All those things go together. So for Vicious Gaming, getting these god buildings for their loot is going to be important, and really just getting a good position in the early game.
I will say they got a little bit lucky too. You can see they a little bit earlier they were finishing their parachute down. It looked like Space Station might have been playing it a little bit of a little aggressive, but instead deciding to pull off of that instead. So VG able to get their loot on in peace and quiet for right now.
And do not forget, everybody that is watching, we keep talking about winners and how you can win in this, but you also have a chance at getting some skins yourself.
Skins?
So if you are on the Twitch channel, make sure that you look for that helmet mouse over where you're seeing the action happening right now. Well, technically where you see somebody that's driving.
On your overlay.
Yeah,
And
who do you
on your
think's going to win,
overlay,
Chad?
click down and choose who you think is going to win, and that'll get you a chance, if you're one of the 500 lucky winners, to get yourself a
Do
skin.
you want to do some impromptu predictions?
Do you want to?
I think I'm going to just pick Cloud9 because they're dead center.
Dead center circle? Yeah.
That's I mean, that makes it kind of easy.
Easy. That's what I wanted to pick first.
Hey, okay, well, I'll go with Ghost because they're right there too. Simplicity, Matt?
Well, see, I went with Simplicity, if you remember, for the pies.
Oh,
and
that's true.
Simplicity
Oh, yeah.
let me down, and I got pied to the face because
true.
of it. So I'm going to go with Tempo Storm this time around.
I did the part of the face.
Oh, okay, Wolf.
Damn.
Wow.
You were talking about the fact that everybody on the analyst desk was saying, hey, you know, a couple of those kills are now going to shift away from Envy and pop over on Endemic, and look at this. He is already showing up with a beautiful shot, even scaring away, not going to allow for an easy res. Fozu, how are you going to choose to play this, buddy? I mean, Wolf is just beat it in right now.
He's going to start shooting the feetsies, and there's the smoke and
feetsies.
support.
Okay, now what are you going to do with this? Going to try to spot him out? The smokes are
If
going
he
to go
runs
through.
across, that might be another kill for Wolf waiting to happen.
I mean, the other members of Endemic are starting to come over here and provide some reinforcements. You can see something's down there. A couple of shots now coming out from Wolf, and actually going to scare Fozu away. So it looks like, yes, Wolf is going to get the first kill of this round. Oh, Fozu, got to be careful with that one, buddy.
Get stuck between a rock and a hard place and explode there in the buggy if you're not careful. But I mean, this looks like it's going to be very difficult to get a res. So Wolf might be finding himself the first kill of this game.
Yeah,
I think so.
Crispy are serving as phenomenal bait there, just hanging out on the side of the cliff there, and letting Sub-Zero just kind of take the.
I mean, we've all been here
There's
before.
no res. There's no res.
What if
for
you're playing
Sub-Zero.
for PUBG? You're sitting
Safe
there, it's
res.
like, safe res. It's perfectly fine, guys.
Safe
No
res.
worries. Just drive over here. They're not going to shoot you. They just instant tapped me. It'll be fine.
It's fine.
Sorry, Sub-Zero. Looks like you're going to be the first one out of this game. Ticking
dear.
away. So, I mean, that's Wolf. I mean, that's a great topical segue there as Wolf picks up the first kill. He's a big factor for his team, and that's going to be Sub-Zero feeling very sad as he bleeds out
I want to see the body bounce. Do it. Hey, there you go. He's now down and out. And so Wolf does net himself first blood, but we do have E United caught up in a little bit of a skirmish here as Dill Hero's taking a ton of damage. That's going to be Cloud9. Look at that post up on top of that hillside way off in the distance. Nerf is just unrelenting at this stage. The rest of E United back behind him. I think they just got a little bit of cover to play around now, but right as soon as he pops up, just look at the tracers raining down around him, but he does make it behind the hillside.
So far, he's got a little bit of a decline to work with still, but he's going to get away from the withering shots of K-Mind, the superstar.
At this point, he's like, no, I'm just out of this. I do not want to go back up that hillside. That is way too many bullets coming this direction.
That's the best way that could have ended for him, really, considering how much damage he took there. But it's going to be early pressure on the meds, and we're already in the circle shift, so we're going to be moving on to the second circle very quickly. So for Dill here, he's going to have to try and find himself a new vest. He's going to have to find a fresh level 2, I guess, because that level 3 is going to be filled with holes.
Yeah, I got to imagine Cloud9's feeling a little bit irritated about that one. They had Dill Hero kind of dead to rights there. Fortunately, his teammate providing him a little bit of support. They're giving him that smoke, allowing him that little gap in time to be able to make his way over the cliff. So well done by E United as far as team play.
For those watching at home, it's really important to have a quick bind for your smoke because that's how Dill Hero saved himself there. Throw the quick defensive smoke and get out of the way. So if you're looking to improve your game, having a quick bind for your smoke is going to be one of those ways.
And make sure it's not just all grenades, because you might have seen something during the preseason where it was just like
specifically a smoke grenade.
thought throwing down a smoke and might have accidentally cycled into a frag grenade. That didn't end up the best.
That
for
never happened.
That was 5 pro bind for smoke grenade, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's the way you got to do it there. So it looks like Cloud9 already in a little bit of a rotation. Looks like they're going to send Nerf out to do a little bit of scouting for him. Meanwhile, Lazarus, whoa, Kind of looking around over next to him. Keep in mind, we do see E United. This is going to be the other side of this. Looks like E United's having a little bit of trouble finding anywhere that they consider to be safe.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Lazarus is taking shots at this or not. Oh, well, they are now. So E United fully aware of where Lazarus is hiding out. Still here, we're going to try to see if he can find anything here. Nothing really showing itself or presenting itself just yet.
I mean, it feels like Dill Hero's job right now is to go get shot by everybody and let the rest of E United know where to go. It's like every single time he steps out, he's like, okay, there's a lot of guys this direction too.
Tempo taking shots as well here from longer range. So United
Dill Hero is just like, someone please shoot me in the head. I desperately want to be shot in the face.
I've heard of bullet sponges in PUBG, but Dill Hero is just living that life right now. I mean, at this point, you just have to, like, everybody on his team is calling out. It's like, okay, we're going to go ahead and mark where your second body armor is. And here's going to be where your third body armor is.
You need one of those, like little toddler harnesses and yank them off the hillside every once in a while.
little monkey backpack.
Get off the hill, damn.
Pull him back a little.
All right, now E United picking a couple of shots back up there. And Dill Hero, he finally gets some vengeance back over towards Valix, but I'm willing to bet that's going to be a res coming back through.
I mean, that's what, down in the no, okay.
That'll be a res.
Yeah, Sub-Zero died in the road.
But look at this. Lazarus, keep in mind, we saw Sub-Zero die earlier. Valix has already gone down once. Sure, we talked about the struggle that has been Dill Hero getting shot from every direction, but really Lazarus has had a rough early game.
So the thing with being the sniper on your team is you have to hold those peaks because you're looking for those headshots. Dill Hero is a great sniper, but you're leaving yourself exposed to get those lines of sight. So you can see, especially on Miramar, on the high side, you risk taking damage, but you can also land those long-distance headshots as well.
Not a lot of teams going to have to move this time around. Really, it's just Noble, Envy, and it's going to be Smoke and Azus with half of Vicious Gaming up there. But everybody's kind of carved out their section. Still going to be collapsing around that valley area next to Graveyard, Picado, and all that.
Well, you can see E United. We are following one of the boys from that squad, but they had vision on Smoke and Aces as they were trying to make their way in. Currently, Smoke and Aces right outside a circle, so this could be a little rough transition for them if they're not careful.
Now, one thing I do kind of want to note is we have that big mountain that's going right through the middle of the circle at the direct time, where Power Grid is up on top of. A lot of teams can post up, and you can see there's great sight lines, but it's going to be Space Station Gaming that walks right up next to. It's going to be Simplicity. That's going to be a lot of bullets, and already one down coming out from our man Linksy. He had a ton of damage. I believe he was #1 in damage during the preseason, already showing up big. And look at how fast Simplicity reacts to a fight. Right as soon as they spot somebody out, everybody just spins on that direction and gets some form of defendable position.
Space Station does not respond well to pressure in this situation. They're already backing away, and this is going to be a rough run. We talked about this mountain, but these terrain is not super deep. They're going to have to try and use whatever they can to get away, but they're going to come up again after this. So for Space Station Gaming, they're running completely away from this fight. Early game fights is not where they want to be right now.
Simplicity getting that kill and getting more damage for themselves the way they did it through the entirety of the preseason. They find the highest area available, they go and they take it early, and they've already managed to scare Space Station away, push them off of it.
Well, that team has so many great long-range fighters inside of it. They can hit so many great sniper shots. They know how to hit the distance. They have no issues on that. Now, the problem comes in rotations from that position are sometimes kind of dangerous.
Just vandalizing vehicles as Dill Hero, and that's going to be important to limit the rotation ability of other teams around you. So for Dill Hero and the rest of E United, once this next circle pops, they're on the southern side, and they have every team on the map on top of them if they have to move north.
And that is hyper dangerous. Really, we were seeing on the map, most of the northern area is starting to clear out as everybody's opting for a much more centered strategy. You can see really towards the north, towards the west, still very out in the open. Naturally, that mountainside where we see Simplicity and Shoot to Kill kind of fighting with Ghost Down being the low, that's kind of the dividing line. So that's why we see a couple of teams playing a little bit over on the other side of it with Envy.
Gotta say, I really like the positioning of Y-Temp Fate again, the victors from last round. They have that northwestern side basically all by themselves. They're just gonna chill, let the circle close, and see how far they have to move afterwards.
Well, we were talking about how the difference is between playing the edge and trying to play circle with these new circle settings. Y-Temp Fate still sticking with that edge strategy. They believe that they have it down. They can still manage to get their transitions quickly enough to where they can still get involved in these early game fights here. As you see, they're already pushing up onto Space Station.
Oh, and Simplicity taking another shot back over here, going to force Nerf back down the hillside. But again, it comes down to that high ground positioning that Simplicity has. They may not necessarily get a lot of downs, but they can force such awkward rotations from other teams due to those beautiful sight lines.
Wondering about Cloud9's vehicles here. They're in Picado. They haven't had to move too far. They have actually got a couple set aside for themselves if they have to go north themselves. So for Picado, it's such a great hold, but exiting Picado. That's the dangerous part, especially since you're going to be running up high ground. You can see to the north where Simplicity set up, or they have to take the road east and move around past where Ghost is set up. So for Cloud9, they're in a great spot, but they're kind of in a prison as well.
Yeah, they didn't really, I don't think they really wanted to be here. You see they transitioned originally towards the southwest, and the new circle has popped. They are still going to be towards the center there. I think they wanted to go where Simplicity was, but during their transition, they saw Simplicity and heard the shots coming over to Space Station.
Define Legit running back down that hillside. Gonna get spotted out by Woe. That's gonna be Define Legit going down, and this should be a fairly simple pickup, as I think he's not gonna have time to crest the top of the hill. And yep, Define Legit just gets picked up there. Woe netting himself a nice little kill off of a trap position where he was kind of just biding his time.
Definitely don't want to give up that kill, especially when it's that easy.
Well, I'm not sure why Define Legit's that far out. Maybe he's looking for information on the road, but he puts himself in this weird kind of position where he can't defend himself, and he gets caught out easily by Lazarus.
And now we're starting to see that hillside that we kept talking about, and how it's such a big factor. Look at what Vicious Gaming has to make their way up and around. There's already teams positioned up there. This is going to make for some very hard rotations for teams like Vicious. It's on the outside, already getting spotted out now. This is not good for them.
Yeah, they know that Oxy is currently holding that spot. They should be able to make their way in. It just depends on how hard Oxy wants to commit to this gatekeeping role.
San Martin's a great spot right now, but this high side where Oxy's set up, that's going to be the... Oh,
okay.
He's joking. It's going to be Dash saying, no thank you, I'm going to win that sniper battle.
Dash buying the much-needed space for his team, and you can see the rest of Vicious Gaming trying to figure out how they're going to play off of this. Dash sees another angle. It's going to be another team that's driving by. It's going to be Tim Fate catching a little bit of airtime in the Murado. Looks like they do have themselves a pretty safe path, all things considered. Now it's just a matter of who buys who and who gets the shots towards J-Sank being so
He's
patient
waiting.
now.
He wants him to stand still, and he
there
will.
He goes.
There it is.
Gets himself the down off of it, buys the time for it. Now Dash in a little bit of trouble as he's on the other side of that hillside. J-Sank still with this beautiful high ground. Is he going to be able to net the last little couple of taps to get the kill?
Maybe.
No, Shuru does manage to make it down there and narrowly gets rezzed.
That is, that's just a basic maneuver there. You just got in a sniper battle a second ago. They were just shooting at each other, and he stops in the open and gets immediately punished with that headshot.
So unfortunate for Dash. He landed that sniper headshot. He tried to make his way across the street, but the timing just happened to be right when White's Fate was pushing as well, and he couldn't rejoin the rest of his squad.
Yeah, you could tell that they had a plan. They got the down. Everybody started moving. White's Fate came up, and all of a sudden the plan just went to shambles. Everything was just all over the place. They were trying to figure out how they were going to make any form of rotation. J-Sank getting down onto Dash there. That was another beautiful shot. He is just in control of Vicious Gaming. They're just trying to drive their way through, and at this point, J-Sank feels like he even has the leads on a couple of these shots. Protege taking a lot of damage as well. I'm gonna have to stop and just go for a little bit of a position there. And VZ a lot of damage too.
He's completely stifled them. Oxy's done such a good job, and they're going to not allow Vicious Gaming to get away unscathed here. It's a lot of headshots, a lot of damage vest, and a lot of vehicle damage as well. That is 100% a victory in a fighting sense going to Oxy.
I mean, the attrition war is so big right now. Vicious is going to lose so much. They're going to have to burn through meds. They're going to have to take so much damage on it, and there's nowhere easily for them to rotate away from. There you go. Protege now just driving in style without any back tire there.
White's, oh baby, we've just seen another shift come in, and it is a hard shift south as now Oxy and everyone on the northern side is going to have to move south, and look at that, it's right on top of Picado. I'm feeling good.
Look at this. You were talking about how Cloud9 was probably wanting to make their way up next to Simplicity. I get the feeling they're feeling pretty happy where they're at now.
Well, look, Simplicity's position still one of the strongest on the map. They still have that high ground. They can serve as gatekeepers over this. They just have to make sure that all of their attention is focused in the same place and that they don't get wrapped on.
Lazarus, what you gonna do here? Phalanx looking back over towards Cherry Pop, and So Delicious gonna hit the shots back over onto it, gets it down onto one. Can he get a spray chance for over? No, So Delicious with a beautiful spin back over. Phalanx is now down. Lazarus early game struggles just continue.
Tempo Storm is going to come up trying to investigate, but here comes Woe. He's playing support. He's doing damage. He's taking lots of shots. Woe doing lots of damage. He's going to get one down.
Where's
and
the
there's the finish on a Phalanx. That's the follow-up. Bounces once across. A little too short, maybe.
But with this Endemic's back behind him, they got the nades that are going out. That might be pretty good, all things considered. Are they going to hit any necessary shots onto it? Really, Woe is just holding off on this angle. He doesn't want to run back down because he's already got the fast track inside the circle. Endemic's got to hear these nades going off. Are they going to choose to third party this? Are they going to continue to play passive? Looks like they're hopping in the vehicles. They're just going to run out. Woe's starting to take too much damage, and he realizes he cannot stay in the spot.
Yeah, he's getting shot at from somewhere else, a little bit farther off to the northwest. You see Endemic just pushing in, but they're going to be running right into Tempo, as now Smoking Ace is going to try to get the res on a Crow here, but Woe's well, he still has one teammate up, but now we go into United and Envy.
All right, and it's back over with Dill Hero looking back down that hillside towards Envy, trying to connect on a couple of shots. Gonna be Endemic, gets caught in their rotation from just a second ago. Now, I gotta ask you guys, are you nice and do you want it to shift away from Picado? Or are you evil and you really want it to go down to Picado? But whoa, just getting spotted up by Cherry Poppins. Not gonna see the push coming up there. What do you guys think?
I was going to say that the likelihood is it's going to be Picado and East is going to be the circle finish here. And now it's just a mad dash because it's all plains and flat field around Picado, and that leaves no space to maneuver.
It's a big bowl. There's so many angles of fire for C9 to take here. If they can hold their position, they'll be able to see everybody running up on top of them. Right now they're getting pushed. Probably actually going to down Nerf.
All right, right on top of each other. It's going to be Envy and E United. A couple of shots now coming out from Caden's going to hit the top of Taylor J's head, get the drop down. Smokes are going to start coming out.
Another
now
nice
it's
shot.
going to be Dill Hero taking some damage. Pat Cap slowly creeping his way forward, but Venerated,
good push.
Look at this.
This is
so
he's right on
sneaky.
top of them.
Gonna get the nade off. Can he get it to
Perfectly
connect?
timed.
Cooking
Go
it. It's
Van.
gonna roll back down. Too far. So it's gonna give away his position. They're gonna see that coming out through there. Venerated takes the shots. Now firmly aware he is in a very risky spot. He's got to get one of these nades off. This
So
could be
close.
so bad for them.
That
now
could be
lose
good.
position. Look at this. Curves back down that hillside. Now Dill Hero, what you gonna
He's
do?
in trouble.
You're all by
Venerated
yourself.
pressing.
Venerated, can you hit these shots? Not gonna necessarily need to get it as
Down,
it's just
that's
gonna be
it.
the teammates come through, and E United is now out.
Envy just dominating the fight there with E United. E United now having two just horrible games in a row. They're going to have to go back to the drawing board on this one and try to figure out what's going wrong. But that's 14th place for the team that we expected so much out of.
They got 0 points the first game, and I don't think they got any points the second. Or maybe, I'm not sure if the dealer got any points. But look at something. He's actually crashed into Picado.
Yeah, he's here
the smoke
hanging out with
ninja.
Cloud9. He's just dropping as many smokes as he can, just being like, please, guys, leave me alone. Just go fight everybody else. I just want to be in this one house. It's just me. I'm the last guy left.
There it is.
Oh, but
Boy.
look at the
Picado
north.
and East, baby.
Look at the north. We've got Ghost up there. We've got Shoot to Kill. We've got Simplicity. We've got Wildcard. Those are some fragging teams that are all going to have to run down this mountainside, and it's going to get bloody quick because now Drassel's taking a lot of damage. Speaking of this, you can see Vicious Gaming got the beat back over to it, but it's just the two of them as VZ now gets downed as well. It's all on Shuru's shoulders. What are you going to do, Shuru?
But this is a three-way fight between Vicious, Ghost, and Shoot to Kill. And now Wildcard's going to come up behind Simplicity. Simplicity gets absolutely annihilates, as we can see. Wildcard, 8 kills for Simplicity right now. What can they do when they have the circle? You're looking at it.
That was an amazing push there for Simplicity. They did turn around and take out Wildcard, but this is, again, looking really good for Cloud9. They've got Picado, they got the circle, but now there's nowhere else to go. They're going to have teams crashing from the north and from basically every other direction.
Shoot to Kill still making their way back down that hillside. Looks like they've got caught up with Ghost off in the distance there. Are they going to be aware? Yes, they're going to see Shuru smokes now, so he doesn't have himself too safe of a path. There are so many Shoot to Kill players just looking back down that hillside. Just really, it's a couple of tree leaves providing him some form of cover. Spots him out. Remember, he's by himself. Now he's in the blue. There's nowhere to go, but narrowly he makes it back behind that hillside. He might have himself a little bit of a path, but it's going to be Noble that saves Vicious Gaming Shuru there. Now then, what are you going to do, Adam? Are you going to try to go for the res? Looks like they might be trying to buy that time, but that's going to allow Simplicity to flank down behind him. How's this going to play out?
Shuru, the solo, causing just absolute devastation for Shoot to Kill right now.
They can't move forward without it.
It looks like that right now they're just focused so hard on Shuru that they're allowing damage to come from other directions, but there is going to be the finish coming very quickly.
There it is.
And that's Vicious Gaming eliminated by Adam. That's a much-needed kill. They still have 3 up. Shuru unable to be looted, but the circle's still closing. McCoy is throwing nade after grenade down on top of Noble, and they're coming down the hill like a landslide. Here comes Balak in the
running off the
Balak
other side of it,
close.
jumps out, gets knocked so low, but it's going to be another shot coming up the top, and it's going to be Noble getting taken down, and somehow Ghost makes a ballsy play, survives through most of it.
It's Envy on top of the hill playing gatekeepers. They're now going to punish Ghost from above. It's going to be Frolicker trying to get the loot off of Balak as quickly as he can. Shoot to Kill still in a similar situation as Cloud9. This bowl, as you talked about, Poro, is a bloody one right now.
Simplicity managing to get into the right position before Shoot to Kill. Shoot to Kill got so caught up with trying to finish off Vicious Gaming that they weren't able to get this position early, so now they're having to fight their way in past Simplicity and Ghost.
Here is the problem if you're Shoot to Kill, though. Look, every single team is looking up that hillside. There are 7 teams up and active, so that is 6 teams that are looking your direction, and it's Simplicity that is just gatekeeping from the arena there in Picado. There's only now 1 member of Shoot to Kill set and alive. Tempo Storm is cut off. And look at this. You can see some of the members from Cloud9 are to the south. Profi's up to the north. Somehow, Endemic something is alive at this stage, but here comes the rotation and the hard crash dash coming out from Envy.
This is now going to be all pressure on the Cloud9. He's going to be in a situation now. Patcap's making a mad dash. Past Ghost. He's barely holding on.
God.
He's fully boosted. He's got 2 in their vehicle.
Oh.
The crash will knock himself.
That's
Patcaps
fine.
is going to
That's
fall
fine.
to safety, and that is entry for Envy.
That is the best self-knock that you could ever wish for right there.
Where he
had himself 3 life. Taro with the next level mind games. They're going to jump inside the car and jump out instead of going around it. Beautiful foresight on that one. Now, Ghost has found themselves the outlier inside of this. There's a lot of fights that are happening around Picado. We've all dropped Picado. We know what this is like, but this is going to be one of the bloodiest Picado fights you have ever seen.
So that southern side is filled with Cloud9. They're holding a split. They've actually got a bit of a derision now as Tempo Stone has also come through. Envy has a split of their own north-south. That's a great spot and a nice pickup and a ballsy move from Envy.
What can Ghost do here? They have a vehicle, but they're pretty much stuck out in the middle of nowhere here as Unsil's going to try to take some long-range shots
Well,
here.
no, he's the only member
out.
left. He can look that direction. He's going to have to hit the shots when they look back over, but he didn't want to have to take these. He's open for everything else. Envy still coming in very explosive, getting an influential down here. So 17 people alive, but let's be honest, this is Picado. A lot of these guys could survive for quite a while. It's really about Ghost's rotation.
And at this point, Ghost is maybe the late person to the party here. They're going to get into the zone. They have a little bit of hills to work with, but with Picado being the main feature, they're kind of stuck here. I don't think Ghost can move much further without making a vehicle push really late into a very busy spot.
I mean, they have so much that's looking back down their direction. McCoy wants to take those shots. We know how McCoy likes to play, and he wants to just show off right now. He's looking back up there. Hits a beautiful shot. Forces Lynxie back on the other side of it. But it's going to be Pentalo that says, no, 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 no. You can't peek that many times, brother.
Yeah. That's the sniper battle meta right there, man, where you have the SLR. He did a lot of damage. He did force him back, but that's Penta with the sniper rifle. The bolt action takes him down. That's what you want.
Yeah, you can't peek the same spot 5 times in a row without expecting Pentalo to finish that one off. So McCoy going to lose his helmet for that, but a great position here for Ghost, and the fact that they managed to keep their cars is still pretty good.
It's going to be hard for them.
It's not the best spot, but they can do something.
They're going to have to use them late, though, Poro. If it shifts anywhere near Picado again, they're going to have to make a vehicle push or a smoke push. And there's going to be so many people. There's going to be so many people watching them.
Throw down some smokes, drive their way over and through. That would be absolute crazy. Envy's trying to meet up with the rest of their teammates, but Ghost still having to hold back on that angle. Pentalol, man, he's absolutely killing it.
Harassing Ghost from distance.
He's just destroying every helmet he sees. I don't know what a helmet did to this player in his prior lifetime, but he just sees a helmet and he just freaks out and just destroys
every single
it.
time I drop Picado, it must be Pentalol.
There it is.
Oh, okay. So let's just make it really hard for Ghost. We kept talking about how Ghost has the hardest struggle right now.
This is where they galvanize themselves, though. It's either going to be a smoke push or a vehicle push, and it looks like it might be vehicles. They're probably asking themselves, well, what do we do here?
I want to see him throw smokes out and then drive through the smokes, just because I just want to see it.
I think the only shot that they might even have here is to just pile into the buggies and maybe crash Lucha.
All right, McCoy, let's see what you got.
But they have to do it at the same time.
Driving around the outside, gets a little, still trying to connect onto this. He has a general idea on how they're going to drive. If he manages to take out his tire, this is going to be so rough. Keep in mind, Envy's looking on that same angle, so it's going to be a vehicle explosion off in the distance as he drops down. And Frolicker and Dressler are like, damn it, do we have to do that too?
Yeah, there's just,
Who's next?
What do you even do?
Yeah, do it both. Throw down the smokes, draw the fire, and then just drive the buggy straight through the smokes. I like it.
Well, for Ghost, this is it. I mean, the circle's closing. It's at their backs, and Penta has got the line on them with the bolt actions. So the issue is that they're throwing smokes downhill.
No,
that's opening themselves up for damage. And there's
two
in a bubble up.
This is what they
We got one in the back, doesn't even have a helmet. Dressel just gets popped off of it. Frolicker, where you going, buddy? Taro's got the angle for it, and there you go, Ghost Gaming. You tried so hard, but in the end,
yeah, I
did not get very far in that situation.
Look, there was only so much they could do, but at that point, I mean, you had the entirety of Envy and the entirety of Simplicity. Oh, Zampa going to get the down on the check shooter, finding himself out in the middle of, like, kind of away from everybody here.
He's getting poked away and down and finished. There goes Check Shooter. That's one down now for Simplicity, who's had an excellent game. But Cloud9, again, with the position in Picado, hasn't had to move an inch. They are feeling very good right now in the top 5.
I want to say, if you're Tempo Storm, that is a beautiful spot to be at. Sure, they only have 2 players, but it's Sharky and Zampa. These guys during the preseason were absolutely destructive towards teams. Whenever Tempo Storm was playing well, these guys were absolutely on fire. So now, something... Still living inside of his house.
He's feeling good, man. Like, Endemic, this was they pushed through Tempo Storm, lost a bunch of players, crashed into Picado right in front of Cloud9, and something has snuck his way to a top 5.
Let's just say I'm proud of him for not being hiding in the bathroom. At least he's hanging out in the living room.
That's
McCoy's
job
up there. Oh. Okay, so we got Tempo Storm looking back down the
Snuck that one
hillside.
in on me. I wasn't expecting it.
Okay, so Zampa, now what's going to happen? Circle pops. Tempo Storm's going to have to move.
Wow.
Cloud9 continuing to get Brendan Green's favor here. His player unknown is just
I'm proud of our
bequeathed them the
circle physics.
All right, so here we go. Cloud9, post up, Envy post up, Simplicity. Let's be honest, those three teams are just deadly in every form and fashion. We've seen them win so many rounds. Now Tempo Storm with 2 has to try to make this cross.
Oh,
now,
the headhunter.
here's the thing. If these guys all start fighting each other, Tempo Storm and something can make their cross through.
Stay still.
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
Patience pays off in the end. Finally gets it. And so now Loeb's going to have to go over there and run. Oh, yeah, he knows.
K-Mine
your
is like,
helmet.
what have I done? Every time I stop moving, someone shoots me in the face.
That was such a good shot. Holy crap.
This is just a blood triangle waiting to happen here as Tempo Storm is still on the outside of it. Like, okay, we're in the safe zone. Let's let them shoot each other. So I do like Envy's location. Usually whenever people drop, they kind of go next to casino or they go to that hotel/apartments area over there where Simplicity's at. But where Envy's at actually has some great sight lines on both of those locations as we saw really tricky shots that you can perform.
But, I mean, you look at this circle. I mean, Cloud9's going to get the exact dead center of the circle falling right on top of Casino. Now, the thing that's going to be interesting is what happens when they get pushed from Envy and Simplicity, and you have Tempo Storm kind of coming up from the backside as well.
They're going to have to open a helmet factory next to this casino to keep K-Mine with helmets on. There's just...
But look at Loeb's. He's only got 80 rounds for
and
it,
again,
but that's huge.
I'm going to say,
M249.
we saw in the last round an endemic player managed to sneak into the last circle and managed to be slightly influential. He managed to have a couple of teams have to focus direction towards him. Somehow, something might perform in a very similar fashion to this. Nobody sees him on this cross. Actually, nope, he does get spotted out now.
Sharky.
It's going to be Zampa. You're looking the wrong way there. And I think he's actually going to make this cross because it's going to be Zampa that was looking on a different angle there. So he does manage to at least make his way to the hillside.
Zampa wants it.
Oh, dude, Zampa wants all the kills.
Exactly. Zampa is the type of person who's like, all right, I saw a guy. I'm going to run 2 blocks to go and find him.
I think that's why he shaved his head, so he could be more aerodynamic as he chases every single kill that he sees.
Well, Tempo only has 1 kill right now. Despite making it here into the top 5, they still need to get a few more points out of this to feel a little bit successful, to feel it's a successful round.
No. Okay, so here comes the solo problems. Whenever you're sitting there, Lynxie's looking up the hillside. Or up on
Bro, it's the last circle and there's 13 people alive.
Well, I mean,
take that shot.
At the same time, it's 13 people alive. It's kind of dangerous here for him to take it. Is he going to go for it? He's going to follow through. He wants to kind of do the fighting for him, so that way he can just kind of sneak in behind it and capitalize. Finally, he's going to realize to take the shots. Not going to get the down, though. Something, you got to get those, man. You're in a lot of trouble now, and he realizes he's like, okay, it's time to get out of here.
Hopefully no one
just run
saw
this
that.
way. It'll be okay. Maybe Tempo Storm won't see me over here. They're just trying to slowly sneak his way off on this other angle.
Oh,
but
this
still,
is insane.
Cloud9 got to spot out Zampa. Now it's just all onto Sharky. Something's still alive somehow, some way.
Envy flushing the kill as well. That is huge right now as every point matters.
He can be up on top. Everybody has to go down.
No.
Remember, everybody in the hotel already is down on the low ground.
That's smart,
Something
man.
has a path over here. This is some next level play. He's got the mindset. He could potentially survive. And this takes away Cloud9 having that low ground position.
This circle moves really slow. A minute and a half for this to finish off. So now it's going to be Sharky trying to nade around these short little corners. That's how, that looks okay. That bounces close to Pat Caps. Does a lot of damage, but doesn't get the down.
Sharky's just like, please just go away. I just want you to go on the other side of this.
There's the
Flashbang still coming back out. Got to be careful with this. Sharky, how are you going to play it? Frag does go. You can see it's going to be terrible.
They're holding a double peek. They're not going to allow Sharky to come around that corner. But something's now elevated.
There's going to be some shots coming out from Lobes, who is just biding his time, but that's going to allow Sharky to move. Taro steps up and forward. It's going to be very, very careful as they're having to make their way through here.
So, the doorway venerated.
How are you going to make your way? Look at this. He's got the high ground. He can look back in. He has the cover points. Somehow something is just in a great position right now. Okay, so down towards the bottom, we've got Wooly that steps up, gets some shots over on something, and it gets the down. Something somehow staying alive for so long.
He's got 2 kills. He's shooting everything that moves, even dead bodies. This is a great position. He can let the circle do the damage here. Oh my God, this is now, it's all something.
No way.
He's on it. He's going to try and med now.
6 alive. He has been here for so long. He had to play so quietly. Violence erupting down below him. He's looking down. He can just steal kills from this position. Look, he's got, I'm going to just take some shots. That's just something I'm going to eliminate one of them. So now it's just Lynxie. It is a 1v1. Who's going to survive through it? Lynxie doesn't have it. He's just trying to run over, trying to hopefully get some meds off of it. So Lynxie's down towards the bottom, up towards the top. Something's at full life. Something is going to win this. And Dimick is going to get the round win.
Are you kidding me?
How the hell did that happen?
What the hell just happened? happened. What an amazing finish here. I mean, look, all that matters is you win, right? He picks up 5 kills to go along with the 10 points to come with first place. What a heads-up play from something.
I cannot believe that it came down to that one play of him jumping on top of the casino. All it was just waiting. He had a great position there. That was a terrific, smart play. 200 IQ from something.
I mean, it was so beautiful. Once he managed to make that, sure, okay, he missed that spray. He might have
Yeah.
hit. But then after he
Forget that.
that actually played off in his favor,
Yeah.
because if he had won that, he might have pushed along that path behind it. So since he lost that, he shifted off to the right, made his way up to the roof, and next thing you know, he's got himself a beautiful spot.
Just unbelievable. And like you said, just 200 IQ heads-up play coming out. I mean, if you're Envy, or if you're C9, your simplicity, you're feeling so good coming into this final circle, but then you have all your teammates up, you have everybody alive, but in the end, all it comes down to is terrain.
Can you imagine being Cloud9, being in Mikado, this is where you drop, and Dimick runs in on you, you kill 3 of them, leave 1, and somehow that 1 is the one that takes the Mikado victory.
Just a quick recap. It was Simplicity coming in that second place, and Envy did take third with a lot of kills. Not to be understated,
Just a
Envy
few.
picked up a ton through the end of that game.
I mean, we have Intero that's got 5. We've got
Yeah.
Venerated that's got
Yeah.
5. Caden that's got himself 1. Something did get himself 4, but I mean, we probably are going to see, based off of points, Envy's probably going to come in first after that.
Regardless, I mean, that was just a
Who cares? That was
Great
awesome.
solo effort.
Doesn't matter. We're just still
Sick.
excited about something showing up there.
How many people have picked Endemic in the chat?
Oh, yeah. See,
Yeah, that's true. I picked
bet-
Cloud9 and
Somebody's throwing their mouse.
There's that
right now.
one guy right there. He's just like, yeah, give me those skins. Haha, suckers, and the rest of you got it.
wow.
There you go.
What a finish.
I know. And of all things, that's twice now we've seen Endemic. We did talk about they used to be Adapt before they came through here, and they were great about surviving. They may not necessarily get the most kills because they tend to lose a couple of members here and there, but they somehow survive all the way to the end.
Yeah, even going back to Adapt days before qualifiers, they have always been just really, really good at making to that late game position. Now they will engage in those fights at the end, and you know, 50% of the time they'll win a 4v4, but that's something that they need to improve upon. But right now, I mean, obviously their game IQ is
Something
huge.
that they don't need to improve on is something. I'm sorry, I had to make the joke. It was bad. It was so, I'm sorry.
Some
guys.
jokes you don't have to make.
I do have to, whenever it pops in my head, I have to do it. It just comes out, man.
The big issue there, I think, for Cloud9 was that they have Picado, and everyone wanted Picado,
Yeah.
and then just people started leaking in, and it's super hard to defend against that. So
Oh, yeah.
Cloud9 still managed to make something happen aside from K-Mine having about 14 holes in his head by the end of that round. But, wow.
I mean, I gotta say, if you're Wolf, you gotta be feeling really good about your rotation over the new team that you're sitting on right now. But
Oh, yeah.
we do have Seltzer that's down with one of the Endemic players. I'm hoping
I hope
it's
it's
something.
something.
Yeah,
Please,
we hope
please
it's
be
something.
something.
So Seltzer, who do you got?
Thank you, guys. I've got Wolf, and the first question that you guys actually need to answer is, why isn't something up here talking to me right now?
I think he's still hyped from the win. He's a little nervous. He clutched it up hard there, for real.
That was an incredible victory. Everyone here in the audience was on the edge of their seats till the very last minute. What was comms like during that?
Basically, the 3 of us were just listening for footsteps because it hard shift onto Picado. We knew we had to crash it. Everyone died but him, and he won a clutch 1v1. He actually flushed one of C9 with his pistol because he ran out of bullets. And then he lived, and we just basically, you know, called footsteps for him, told him how we think he needed to rotate, and then he made a really clutch call at the end to get on the roofs, and we knew all he had to do was watch the stairs to the roof, and he could win. So.
Smart heads-up play, really incredible. We were watching here, we could not believe that this is how the final match played out. Have you ever been a part of a match like that?
No, that was insane.
Well, you guys are going down in history for sure, and with a brand new name. Tell me a little bit about Endemic and who you are now.
Yeah, so I actually joined this team recently because I played with Envy in the preseason. And then we talked to Endemic and were able to sign with them and represent them here, and it's awesome.
What does that mean for you to join this team, to get under this brand new umbrella, and to come out here and have an incredible first match on our second round of the very first day of the NPL Phase 1?
It's amazing because our team, actually one of the owners is Paul George, the NBA star, so it's cool to look good to the legend.
Well, you guys are going to go home with a great story to tell, but we still have 2 more matches coming up today, right after this break.